Hey guys, welcome back to the 5 million gold from scratch series, where I go over all of the gold that I have earned from the past week. The last video in this series went on for, in my opinion, way too long, so I think from now on I'm going to try and cut back the small talk and rambling just a little bit, and hopefully these videos won't be nearly an hour long anymore and they will be more to the point and concise. So with that said, let's get straight into the video and go over how much gold I have earned this week. To be able to know how much gold I have earned this week, I have to go over how much I have also spent, and in the last video, I ended off at 1,520,000 gold. We are really getting up there in the gold. And in this video, I am starting at 470,000 gold, which means that I have spent 1 million and about 50,000 gold. So 1,050,000. That's how much I have to earn this week to break even, and then anything past that will be a profit. Now, just as a real quick note, I did just spend about 500k right before this video because someone posted up tens of thousands of Xanthid for about 30% under the market price. So it does kind of screw over the results for this video because I have had zero time to actually profit off of that investment this morning. So just keep that in mind. If we don't make 1 million gold this week, it is because I just spent 500k like an hour or two ago. But if we do profit this week, that means that we made a lot of gold, because next week we will actually see the results of the investment from this morning, and next week will be a much bigger week, especially on, say, the Alchemist. Alright, so going over the gold that I have earned on my gathering tune this week, we can go over all of the farms that I have done. So Bloodstained Bones, I sold 1,216 for 5.9 thousand gold. This is from the questionable meat farm in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, the new patch 8.3 dredge leather farm, which, once again, I say this every week, but eventually one of these times it will be true. And what that is I will be making a guide on how to do that questionable meat farm eventually. Maybe it'll be out by the time this video is out. We'll have to see. The next thing is Yasserlane Seeds. I did an hour of Dreamleaf gathering because the Dreamleaf were selling for quite a bit on my server at the time, so I went out and did an hour of that, and that is the result of that. Foxflower, we got 110 for 2,000 gold. This was actually just to get the rank 2. It took me a long time to get the rank 2. A lot of Foxflower. This is a Legion herb, by the way. It took a lot of time to get the rank 2. It's very RNG, so this is just kind of the results of that. Basically an hour farm of Foxflower. That is definitely not all the Foxflower that I got, though. It is just a small bit, and 2,000 gold worth. Volatile Life. This is from farming up Whiptail. I don't know if I sold any Whiptail this week itself, but I did farm up some Whiptail. I did an hour of Whiptail farming, and 163 of those Volatile Lives, which is just the byproduct, sold for 5,700 gold. Laystone Ore, 330 for 3,000 gold. This is the same thing with the Foxflower. I was just out getting rank 2s for all the Legion herbs, and Laystone Ore, since I'm on a dual gatherer, was kind of just a byproduct of that. If I saw an ore, I definitely wasn't skipping out on that while gathering all the herbs. So that is just, again, a little bit of gold added onto the farm. Volatile Air, sold 96 of these for 4.5k gold. These are worth quite a bit on my server, and I did an hour of, well, I guess 10 runs of the, I forget, is it Throne of the Four Winds or Vortex Pinnacle? That's what it is. I did 10 runs of Vortex Pinnacle, and I got, I think, a few hundred Volatile Airs, and I sold 96 of those for 4.5k gold. When the rest sell, it'll be for a lot more gold. And then the final thing to mention is Dredge Leather. So that's from the questionable meat farm. This is actually the most important item from that farm. I just call it the questionable meat farm because if I say Dredge Leather farm, usually people think about the 8.2 farm in Najatar, but the Dredge Leather is the most profitable part of the questionable meat farm. The questionable meat is kind of the byproduct and just a bit extra gold. The most important thing is Dredge Leather because they sell for the most, 884 for 17,000 gold. Almost half of all the gold that I earned this week was just from a little bit of the Dredge Leather. I still have thousands of Dredge Leather that need to be sold, and I actually haven't sold a single piece of questionable meat on my server. Once again, it is medium pop, so that could be why, but I have sold absolutely zero questionable meat. So yeah, dredge leather is definitely the best part of the farm. And there it is, 44,000 gold for the week on my gatherer. Not a big week for gathering, but I do have a lot of materials posted on the auction house. They just need to sell. So there we go, let's collect up the 44k and move on to the blacksmith. Okay, so here we are on the blacksmith. Let's check out what he has earned this week, and man, there we go, 230,000 gold for the week. That is the biggest week of my blacksmith, or for my blacksmith, of this entire series, and it wasn't even a full 7 days. You can see only 24 days ago. So in 6 days, I made 230k on the blacksmith, and I say this every week, it is pretty much all uncanny gear. So I craft up every single uncanny weapon and plate, armor, and mail, and leather, cloth. I do it on all the crafters. So for the blacksmith specifically, all the weapons and all of the plate gear, I craft every single piece of uncanny gear. So I won't really go over those because those take up too much time to talk about when I just do them all. But they do sell for a lot of gold. You can see here 15k for deck pounders, and most of them go between 7 to 15k each, and I sell multiple daily. So that's why I have earned so much gold. But going over some of the other things that I sell, so I do sell some of the notorious gear, so the notorious weapons and plate gear, which is the patch 8.2 gear. It's kind of outdated, but people, at least on my server, are still buying them for some reason, and those are selling between 3 to 15k once again. And they do sell here and there. It's just overstock that I had from before the patch. I actually haven't crafted any notorious gear since patch 8.3. I'm kind of just whittling down the stock that I had initially. Inflatable mount shoes, those are mount equipment. I sell those pretty consistently now, and one of those sold for 11k before tax, so they are making a lot of profit if I do sell those. Mono-hardened hoof plates, those are the for gatherers, those are selling as well. They sell every single week. 8 of them for 2.6k. A bunch of uncanny gear. This is where all the gold came from this week, is just all the uncanny gear. You can see, like I said, between 7 and 15k every single one. It is a lot of profit. And then here we go again, inflatable mouse shoes. And the last thing I sold is mono-hardened stirrups, 2 for 4.7k. I don't know why someone was buying these for 2.5k each, but I sold 2 of them for 2.5k each, which is insane profit because I think it's only like 130 gold to craft them. So yeah, it is definitely easy to take advantage of high prices on a medium pop server, and I think that all is why I have earned so much gold this week on my blacksmith, because just things are very high priced right now and very high profits. So there we go, 230k on the blacksmith. That is so much gold, the most we have earned on the blacksmith. And if we are on track in terms of how much gold we earned last week on all the characters, that means we're going to have quite a few characters that earn over 200k for the week. But I don't know yet, we haven't seen those guys yet. Let's check out the next one. Now moving on to my leatherworker. My leatherworker has earned 112,000 gold this week, and spoilers, that is without selling a pair of the Legion legendary boots that I've been selling for 150k or 100k per week. So that means that we actually earned 112k from BFA stuff. We've never done that on the leatherworker since patch 8.3. And I don't know why, I just feel like my server is a lot more active, because for a month straight I didn't sell any leather gear, but as you can see, what made us 100k this week was all the uncanny leather gear. So once again, I mentioned this on the blacksmith, I craft one of every single weapon and one of every single piece of armor on the blacksmith, tailor, and leatherworker. So it is just all, and also mail. I always forget about mail, but that is what all the gold is from. So I'll just craft up all of the uncanny gear, a few pieces each, and I sell them daily. So you can see waist guards, arm guards, leggings, and then male versions are arm guards, waist guards, treads, leggings. I sell old world stuff too, but those aren't really worth mentioning because they don't make a lot of profit. Drums of Fury, still selling those. Not as much as I used to, which is weird because of Horrific Visions existing now. I would think that they would sell like a lot more because people need them for that. But I do still sell them slowly for so much profit. Comfortable Rider's Bardings, that is mount equipment, so make sure to craft up mount equipment on all your professions as well if they're at a profit. They're definitely at a profit on my server. And then Coarse Leather Bardings and Dredged Leather Bladders. Those are pretty much everything that I'm crafting for leather working, and that has earned me 112k this week. And yeah, that's pretty much all of it. It's not a lot of things, you know, only 29 things have sold, but for quite a bit. If we sold the Legion Legendary Boots this week, I would have made 200k on the Leatherworker as well, which would have been crazy because we've never made that much gold on the Leatherworker. So hopefully next week we sell all the uncanny gear like we did this week, plus the Legion Legendary Boots, and then maybe one day we will have it to where every single profession has earned me 200,000 gold plus in a week. But we haven't done that yet. We just have to hope and pray because it's kind of RNG if people buy your stuff. And yeah, let's move on to the next character. So moving on to my Enchanter, which I just actually got maxed out last week for last week's video. And I think I earned about 30k in the first week of ever having maxed out BFA Enchanting. So let's see how our second and I guess first full week did. Let's see, 56k, almost 57k, more than last week. So I think with the couple extra days that I had, you know, since last week I had just barely got it to maxed out. So there was a few days in the week where I wasn't maxed out, and those days I obviously didn't make any profits. So with a actual full week, it is kind of consistent where it's like almost 10k a day on the Enchanter so far. Not a lot of enchants sell on my server, but they do sell for quite a bit each, so it is still making a lot of profit. I just need it to scale up, you know, so it matches the other professions making like 100, 200, 300k a week. So maybe I need to go out and get Legion Enchanting maxed out and sell the Legion enchants as well. I'll have to figure it out. But going over things that I did sell, Light Step Hoof Plates, these are mount equipment, I believe. Yes, mount equipment. You can see right here, profiting 3,000 gold. They cost 423 gold to craft, and this one sold for 2.3k, so that's about 2k profit right there. But if I were to craft it right now, today, it'd be 3k profit. So the tooltip was a little misleading, but about 200 or 2,000 gold profit making these, and you'll see as I scroll up, I've actually been selling quite a bit of them. Umbra Shards, these are from when I make Tight Spray Linen Bracers to scrap for Expulsum. I only scrap the greens, and I send all the blues to this mage right here to disenchant. And Umbra Shards, you get thousands and thousands of Umbra Shards if you're making thousands and thousands of Tight Spray Linen Bracers. So I'm trying to whittle down my inventory of those and just selling them raw on the auction house. I'm definitely never going to use that many Umbra Shards making enchants, especially at this scale that I'm currently at right now. Enchant weapons, versatile navigations, enchant gloves, Colterian skinning. I'm making all the Colterian enchants for gloves. We got Notorious Combatant Sorcerer Scepter, so I actually made that to level up enchanting. So I'm glad that that sold because that was just made for leveling and not actually for profit. I don't even know if it was made for a profit. I mean, at 4.7k, it definitely made a profit, but that wasn't the intention, so it's just kind of profits for non-intended profits. There you go. We do have some Legion enchants though, because I do have level 50 in Legion enchanting for the glove enchants once again. And when you get level 50 enchanting, you also get all the neck enchants, and they sell for quite a bit of profit on my server. Mark of the Claw for 3,000 gold, and you can see right here, enchant gloves, Legion skinning, a gold. That was a mistake. I need to check DBM, or not DBM, I need to check TSM and make sure that I have the minimum crafting cost as my minimum price, because I think it costs more than a gold to craft that, but it sold for a gold. So something didn't work there. It broke. But moving on, more navigation enchants. I saw all the navigation enchants as well as the Colterian enchants like I mentioned. Enchant Shoulder, Boon of the Scavenger. That's once again from Legion. That sells for 1,000 gold. Slight Step Hoof Plates. 3 of those for 7,000 gold. I was mentioning. These have actually been making me probably the most, to be honest, is Light Step Hoof Plates. I don't know why people need like multiples and multiples of them, because it is a mount equipment, and I think you just equip it once and it's good. Either way, moving on, we have more light step hoof plates. Umbra shards, selling 215 of those for 6.8k gold. I make all of the accord enchants for rings, and 2 of those sold for 3,000 gold. Once again, making all the weapon enchants from BFA. Those are selling for about 800 gold each on my server. And anything else here, force multipliers are selling for a bit more, 1.5k for one of those. And yeah, it's kind of just the same going all the way up. And versatile navigation, so more navigations, more accords. There we go, yes. So that is basically all I'm selling, is just all the weapon enchants, all the ring enchants from BFA, and then the neck and shoulder enchants from Legion, and as well as the BFA light step hoof plates mount equipment, and all of that added up to 56,000 gold, more than last week. And if that Legion skinning enchant sold for the correct price, we would have made a little bit more gold. But yeah, that's a mistake on my part. I just have to make sure that I'm paying attention to that, and that's a good note for you guys. Make sure you're paying attention, even if your TSM is set up to catch itself and not sell things for cheaper than crafting cost. Sometimes it breaks, and it just does, like right there, because I definitely have a minimum price of, crafting cost plus 10%. So I would never sell anything for less than I crafted it for, and it obviously did. So that's a bug, and make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. But hopefully next week we continue to make more gold on the enchanter. Moving over to my alchemist/engineer, the profits we have made this week are 357,000 gold. Actually less than last week. That is crazy. We made, I think, 390k last week. So it's within, a reasonable variation, but it's still less than last week. One of these weeks, though, I will make 500k on this character. I need to, because that'd be crazy to make 500k on just one character in 1 week. Either way, that's so much gold. And just like every single week, it is everything from BFA. So all the BFA stuff I have at rank 3 with the tools of the trade, Sphere transmutation, getting those prosperity procs, and making tons and tons of flasks, elixirs, and potions. But going over some of the things that have been selling, we got Greater Flask of Endless Fathoms are selling on my server. Abyssal Healing Potions and Potions of Unbridled Furies are the highest selling on my server. Definitely those are the 2 ones that you want to keep an eye out for the most. Potion of Focus Resolves have been selling for more frequently on my server, so I might make a bit more of those and have more of those posted at one time. Greater Flask of Vast Horizons, pretty much everything. If we check out my TSM, we can kind of just do this. If we check out my TSM, you can see everything that I have at rank 3, which is all of the patch 8.2 stuff, so all the up-to-date potions and flasks. They are all green profit, and this is why I sell them all, and I make so much gold. Right here is just I mean, you can see with your eyes, right, is so much green, and some of these are for so much gold. Like one potion right here sells for a profit of 1.3k gold, and I sell hundreds and hundreds of them, which is how I'm making so much gold. If we go down to the flasks, once again, every single flask that takes Xanthid, so all the up-to-date greater flasks, all of them make a profit at rank 3 on my server. So keep that in mind, that my server is a medium pop, so that means I kind of own the markets that I craft in, which is everything. I basically own the entire BFA game, I would say at this point, on my server. So keep that in mind. That is how there is so much gold on this character every single week. But I actually did sell some engineering stuff for the first time, which is great. We can see one Uncanny Combatant's Discombobulator, which is the mace that you make with engineering. I have it at rank 2, and it is selling for 11,000 gold, which is a lot of profit. I guess we could check out that as well here. If we go down to weapons, so you can see Uncanny rank 2, it's selling for almost 11k profit for the Discombobulator, and rank 1 Stormsteel Destroyer sells for 12k profit. I just haven't been crafting any of these because they take 7 expulsum each, and I am way too lazy to be making even more, because I make hundreds, or I make about 2,000 bracers a day and scrap about 2,000 bracers a day across all my characters. So I'm not being lazy about it. I just have so much already that I'm doing that I don't want to do even more if I don't have to. So I'm kind of just not crafting these, even though they make so much profit. It's just because it's rank 1 and that expulsum cost is massive. 7 per. It's crazy. But yeah, so those are actually selling Sinister, the Sinister version of it, which is from patch 8.1, so it's very outdated. But I did have to craft, I think it was like 85 of these. I have so many of these in my bank right now, because I had to do it to level up engineering. But it is still selling for some reason. I still sold one, and that's for about 1,000 gold profit, which is great. Here we go again. Huge stacks of Unbridled Furies, 80 for 22k, and Greater Flask of Endless Fathoms, 29 for 26k. These sell for about 1,000 gold each. I also, so pretty much, I mean, I already showed you guys, I make every single potion because they are all profitable. I'm just going to go over the big stacks just because they're cool to look at, I guess, at this point. So here we go. 89 Greater Flask of the Current, 75k. Someone spent 75k all at once, and I got that 75k just in one chunk. And then right above that, 40k. This is all the same day. So in one day, I made 120k or something like that, you know, if we add it all up. Let's see, any other huge stacks? Not really. 84 Unbridled Furies for 16k. That's not huge. Definitely not compared to 75k. But that might even be the biggest stack that we have earned on the Alchemist right here, is that 75k in one stack. You can see right here, I've been buying Xanathid. This was from this morning, so dang, all this sold this morning. That's crazy. But yeah, this isn't even all that I bought. This was just what I had on this character. We'll see when I go on to my Inscriptionist. I bought hundreds of thousands more on that one too. But here, you can see that's where I spent that gold. And anything else from engineering, I guess. So more Sinister Discombibulators. Those are actually selling. That's crazy. That's crazy. At least I'm making profit off of those because I was worried I would have had to disenchant them all since I made so many. But they are selling. So that's cool. And then Crow's Nest Scopes. I'm selling those. I guess I should make more. I think I'm only making 2 at a time. And they are definitely selling for more than 2 a day. So I might have to bump up my crafting rates on those. And those might start making a lot of gold if I up my scale on them. But either way, 357,000 gold. The Alchemist is always the best one to take a look at because, like I showed you with my TSM, Alchemy is insane on my server. It is just absolutely insane. Gonna make sure not to collect up all the Xanathid because I don't need them all right now. And there we go, 357k this week. Hopefully next week, I'm gonna go for it. Next week, we're making 500k on this guy. I'm telling you, we're gonna make 500k next week, I promise. Moving on to my Inscriptionist / Cook, which has so far been like my second best character because of cooking. Cooking is definitely, it goes like Alchemy and then cooking in terms of how much I profit per week. But let's see how much I profited this week. So this week I have made 100 and let's just say 90,000 gold. That's actually 70,000 gold less than last week. So cooking, I must have not been doing too well with cooking this week. I mean, it's still 190k in a week, which is a lot. But, I mean, just comparing to last week, it is not as much. And it might have even been these right here. So I sold Uncanny Combatant Etched Vessel. Those are the offhands from Inscription. The crafted gear. I was selling these last week for 15k each. And this one sold for 5k each. So maybe that is why I have made a little bit less gold, but we'll have to scroll up and see the rest. I did about an hour of Malformed Gnasher farming. When I'm doing other things on my computer and I'm not focusing on WoW, I make sure to at least be fishing, so I'm making gold while I'm doing other things. And in an hour, I sold 200 Malformed Gnashers, 92 Aberrant Void Fins for about 23k gold. And that wasn't all that I fished up, so it's about a 30k per hour, even with all the price drops that have been happening since the patch came out. It is still about 23 to 30k gold an hour for basically not paying attention, which is great. I'm selling biltongs. I think I only make 100 of these, so I need to make sure I'm making more of those. And this is another good thing about making this series is I get to see where I need to scale up my my markets. If I see that I sell all of my stock in one go, that means I need to make more of them. So maybe next week I'm going to start making 200 biltongs at a time and have 200 posted up. And if I see that all 200 sell at once, like right here, then I know I need to make more. And that's how you make more gold, is noticing where you need to scale up your markets and noticing where all your gold is coming from. You know, if you just make 200 of every single meal, you're gonna be spending unneeded gold on, you know, posting costs and stuff like that when they're not selling for that much. So make sure to scale what needs to be scaled and don't just like overflow the market just, you know, to be safe. I'd rather start small and scale up than start big and waste unneeded gold once again on stuff like posting fees and, you know, crafting costs. But there we go, 100 of those for 14k. More aberrant void fins, so there you go, there's some more right there. 47 of those for another 2k almost. Right here, big mechs, those are very profitable. If you guys have any spare time, you can go and farm spare parts, and you can make a lot of gold per hour just farming spare parts and making big mechs. That's actually the crafting materials is spare parts, so you can continuously farm them and you don't have to go out like fishing or killing animals for meats or anything like that. You kind of just craft them on the spot. It's a very nice farm in my opinion. I've been making tens of thousands of gold, if not 100,000 gold plus per week off of big mechs, and it's a pretty straightforward farm. You can Google it. Kebabs, those are selling for quite a bit each. If 10 are selling for 2k, so about 200 gold each for the kebabs. Sold quite a bit of those. Highborn compendiums, these are rising on my server. So they used to be between, like, let's say 3 to 7k each, but now they're between 9 to 15k each, and I sell many of them a day. You can see here, usually they sell in like bulks of 3 at a time. I don't know why it's always 3 at a time. Like every single time it's 3 at a time. But either way, that means that if they sell 3 at a time, that's 45k gold if they're all 15k each, right? That's just a quick 45k gold each day. More kebabs, more big mechs, you know, more compendiums. Oh, there we go. So maybe it was only one day that I sold the offhand for 5k, because this one right here, the same exact item, sold for 18k. Here's more Xenanthid. You can see, like I said, hundreds of thousands of gold I spent on Xenanthid. I just bought them all. Tomes of the Quiet Mind, War Scroll of Fortitude. These haven't sold in a very long time, so the fact that they all sold at once doesn't tell me I need to scale up my markets here. I don't need to really, maybe I need to make 40 of each, maybe 30 of each, but these actually took quite a while to sell, so that doesn't mean immediately because they all got bought out at once that I need to make more. Keep that in mind as well when you're, you know, rising up your markets, or scaling up your markets, that's what I mean. But I did sell all my stock, you know, 15k for those, 9k or 14k for those, 9k for those, so still profit. Baked potatoes, those are profitable as well. I mean, everything's pretty much the same, so 189k, basically 190k on the cook/inscriptionist this week. Less than last week, but still so much gold to be earned in just a week, and I'm happy still happy. I'm happy that the compendiums are selling for a lot more, because those are the highest profiting item, I think, of this entire series, is strictly those trinkets. So yeah, if those sell for more, that means more gold for me. Moving on to what my Jewel Crafter has earned this week, let's take a look, and wow, the Jewel Crafter has broke the 100k mark, 101,333 gold this week. And I'm just gonna kind of mention that it's actually not from crafting anything with Jewel Crafting. I've been making a lot of gold selling the Sage Agate. I think that's how it's pronounced. I got corrected again in the last video, and I think it's Agate. So Sage Agate, I've been selling those for 1,000 to 2,000 gold each, and then Azurines, once again, 1,000 to 2,000 gold each, which makes prospecting Osmanite ore, which is only 30 gold each per Osmanite ore. It makes it so insanely profitable, and people are actually spending this much gold on Sage Agates and Azurine. Those are the only two. If we take a look at all the prices, I can just show you really quick. So on my market, the market values on my server is 23 gold for the purples, 23 gold for the blues, 50 gold for the oranges, 47 gold for the yellows, but then the reds 1.4k and then 1.6k for the greens. So I'm pretty much prospecting solely for the azurines and the sageagettes, and I am selling those for insane profit. And it's like I spent, I think, 80k gold, and what I got in prospecting was, I think, 400k gold worth of just azurines and sageagettes. So I'm trying to sell all those, but I'm just, you can see the insane difference between just buying the ore, prospecting it, and then selling the raw gems to the market. It's quite a bit. And that's really where I made all the gold this week, and that's how I got 101k this week. Still selling the eye level 300 rings. They are selling for even more. Once again, the markets are for some reason rising on my server for pretty much everything. So I'm selling those for now 2,000 gold each. They were going for 1,000 gold each, with it was about 900 gold profit. So this is about 2,000 gold profit per ring. And for an eye level 300 ring, that is definitely nothing to complain about. More sageagettes, 12 for 15.4k. More of the rings, once again 2k per those. And the rest is pretty much just random gems and stuff. I'm pretty much making nothing from actually crafting with Jewelcrafting. It's just all from prospecting right now, which is a lot different than before. The markets rise and drop, so sometimes, or some weeks, crafting's very profitable, but then some weeks, just straight prospecting and selling raw materials is more profitable. As you can see, I haven't sold a single staff because with these prices of azurine and sageagettes, it's actually not profitable to craft the staves. And it's more profitable to just sell the raw gems, and they are selling. So, that's how, this is the most gold we've made with Jewelcrafting, and that's how. So yeah, I'm happy with that. The more of these raw gems I can sell, the better, because that's less time I have to spend actually crafting and scrapping for expulsum for those staves, because those staves are very expensive with expulsum. So yeah, super happy with the Jewel Crafter. Let's move on. So taking a look at my tailor for the week, we have earned 53,000 gold, and that's about half of what I earned last week. And just scrolling down, I can already tell why. Last week, we sold a lot of uncanny gear, uncanny cloth gear, and I actually did have a comment on last week's video. Someone said, like, how am I selling or like, how am I making gold with tailoring on their server? Tailoring sucks so bad they can't make any gold with it. But if you haven't been watching the series, last week was actually the first week I ever sold any piece of uncanny cloth gear, and it still remains the same. I mean, we can see we sold some here, but we'll scroll up to that in a second. But staying on track with the, what I'm trying to say here is that, it's kind of just RNG. Some weeks I sell nothing. Like for a month straight, I sold not a single piece of uncanny cloth gear, and I had only been making between 10 to 30k a week on the tailor, which is, nothing. It's especially compared to all the other professions. It was basically nothing, and my tailor was my worst character. But last week I just got lucky, and a lot of people needed uncanny cloth gear. So that's how I was able to make over 100k gold last week on the tailor. It's not doesn't really have anything to do with the server. It's more just RNG. It's like half and half, server and RNG. I do own the markets pretty much. It's just, that also means that there's not that many people buying either, But either way, we can see I have been scaling up my deep sea bag markets, and I have definitely been selling a lot more of those. You can see this is almost 20 in a single day. So I'm making 50 a day now, and I'm making sure that I have enough deep sea bags on the market. And scrolling up here, I'm still buying Tide Spray Linen. We don't have to go over that. I need hundreds of thousands of these to make all the expulsum for all the professions. But right here, one day this week, I did sell a set of uncanny cloth gear, which did help out my gold earned this week quite a bit, I'll be honest. It's about, what is that, like about 30k from 20 to 30k from the uncanny cloth gear, and that's just one full set. Someone wanted a full set for a alt, I guess, and they bought just a full set. And then a lot of deep sea bags. That's where I got all my gold this week, is just so many deep sea bags, and then a full set of uncanny cloth gear. I did sell a otherworldly bag for 1.9k. These are selling at a profit of about 1.8k to 2.5k depending on the day. Last week I think I was selling them for 2.7k each, which would have been 2.5k profit. So these are from, I think, Cataclysm, maybe Wrath of the Lich King. But either way, they make a lot of profit, so maybe check them out on your server, see if they make that much profit as well for you. And that's pretty much it, to be honest. Like, it was all the bags and the uncanny cloth gear, and it wasn't even that much either way. So 53k if we round up on the tailor, not too bad. You know, it's kind of just normal for the tailor. Last week we just got super lucky, like I mentioned, which is why we made over 100k. But this is kind of getting back down to normal. 50k is still a little bit more than usual, so still happy with the results on the tailor. Way better than usual. And now finally for the last character, it is going to be the Transmog character, all the things that I have farmed up and sold in terms of Transmog for the week. And if we take a look here, we have earned 62,732 gold for Transmog, which is a lot more than it has been the past couple weeks. This might even be the biggest opening for Transmog of the series for me so far. You know, I'm not the biggest with Transmog. I'm just kind of lightly dabbling in it. I spend maybe 4 hours max a week farming Transmog, so, you know, it's definitely nowhere near the bulk of what I'm doing. It's kind of just supplementary. You know, I try to dabble in all the markets, and Transmog is a huge market to dabble in, especially if you want to go all in. I do not, however, because I don't want to just farm dungeons all day every single day. But the biggest thing of why we even made 62k this week on the Transmog character is because this thing sold. The Aetherin's Everwarm chestplate sold for 46,000 gold, and this isn't even something from that long ago. This is actually an epic BOE from Legion. I got this while on my Leatherworker. You know, each week I go and craft the Legion Legendary Boots, the Sentinel's Eternal Refuge, because they sell for a lot on my server and they sell pretty consistently. They are needed by level 110 twinks for speedrunning Transmog farming right here. It's kind of all intertwined. But either way, I mean, that's kind of cool, right? I went to go farm the Transmog boots on my Leatherworker, and while I was doing that, I got this to drop, and I sold it as Transmog on my Transmog character. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of like coincidental, right? How that all worked out. And yeah, you know, it's an epic BOE from Legion. It sold for 46k. That's all pretty much there is to say about it. It came from something random that I was killing while I needed to farm Bloods of Sorgeris or something. And that pretty much carried this character this week, I'll be honest, because not a lot else sold. Things sold here, you know, 2k or 3k each, but not for enough to really go over. The farms that I did do, though, in terms of actual Transmog farming and not just getting a random BOE and getting lucky, I farmed up ZF for an hour, and I farmed... Actually, that's all I did. I actually farmed ZF for only 1 hour this week, so... yeah, like I said, I don't spend a lot of time Transmog farming, but I do enough to make sales each week and, you know, show them off on this character. So there we go. That's actually, I believe, once again, the biggest opening on the Transmog character so far. It was very lucky, though. It's a I don't even know why someone bought that. It looked cool, I'll be honest, that 46k chest piece. It looks cool. So now we can go over what I have earned for the week. This week was kind of weird because it was kind of up and down for each character. You know, some characters were making up to double this week than last week, and some characters were making about half of what they did last week. So it was kind of, you know, teeter-tottery in that sense between all the characters. So maybe that means it'll equalize, and, you know, we made over 1 million gold this week, like we have been each week. But also keep in mind that I just spent 500k. I showed you guys all the Xenanthid in my mailbox. That's not all of it because obviously I've used some this morning. Yeah, so let's see how much we made even with basically throwing away 500k. I'm scared because of that 500k. But let's do it. Boom, there we go. 1,670,000. Let's round up. 1,679,000 gold. So again, even though I spent that 500k this morning, we made a profit. That's crazy. That means next week we might make 2 million gold. That will be insane. If I actually make the appropriate profits off of the 500k I spent for Xenanthid. But once again, even then, we made a profit throwing away 500k. If we didn't spend that 500k this morning, which once again, it didn't make any difference for this video. Like, I haven't profited off of what I spent. I just kind of spent it. So if I didn't spend that, we would actually be at 2 million and almost 200k. So yeah, I think next week we're making 2 million gold, guys. I think next week we're making 2 million gold. Either way, let's actually go over the exact profits. Last week, we ended at 1,520,000 gold, which means I have earned about 160k this week. We would have made 660k this week if I didn't spend that stuff this morning. So you can, take that information either way you want. You can say that I made 660k this week, or you can say I only made 160k this week, because next week the profits will obviously appear in the mailbox when we sell the stuff that we used to craft with the Xenanthid. So yeah, I kind of wish that I made the video right before I did that, because it would have been cool to make 660k. But yeah, hopefully next week we'll make 2 million. That's being very ambitious, but we might be able to do it, because we opened up 1.4 million this morning, or in this video, if in terms of just the gold we collected. And yeah, man, I'm still happy because we're still profiting each week, even though I'm spending 1 million gold a week. Isn't that crazy? I'm spending 1 million gold a week, and I've never even had 1 million gold before. And we're just making it all back plus more. It's crazy. I'm super excited for next week. Hopefully we'll make 2 million gold, but I'm gonna stop it here. I think I've said that already 5 times, which means it's time to end off the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like, and if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button plus the bell next to it so you can be notified whenever I upload a video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.